So the answer for your quiz is that we want you to give you your exams at the end of the session. The answer for your quiz is that you just say that we have already proven that you can't have many substances of the same attribute. I hope now this language is clear. You can't have many realities belonging to the same nature. You can say that the chair and the table are two realities and they are material. It doesn't make sense. You're just saying that there are two ways in which matter appear or is, and you're not saying that there are two different realities like matter and thought. I hope by now this is clear. Is this clear for everyone? So, we have already proven that you can't have many substances of the same attribute, many realities belonging to the same nature. Great. So now we want to know this existence in which we are, what is its structure? Can it be like Descartes or like polytheism, three or more realities where each have its attribute? Is it a possibility, or is there any contradiction in thinking that the real is this? You have, for example, the thinking reality, the material reality, the X reality, the Y reality, and all of these are perfect in their kind, and together they compose the real. Is this a possibility? You get the question? Okay. If you want the simplified version of that, it's not polytheism, it's Trinity. But it's the same problem. Okay. You could have God's thought and matter, meaning God's Holy Spirit and the body of Christ, as we say. Or you could have the God of wisdom, the God of beauty, the God of thinking, the God of the body, the God of whatever. Can the real be composed of these three? Is it a possibility? Anyone?
Yes.
Yeah. Why is there absolutely no limitation between the different gods? Why they don't conflict with each other, these gods? Each one is a reality, as each one has its own attribute. Can two substances having two different attributes limit each other? No, to limit something you have to belong to the same attribute. Hence, Descartes has proved, Spinoza has proven that you could have the polytheist or the Trinitarian model of reality. Both are valid. Both are possibilities. So there's absolutely no contradiction in having this or that. Or you could have one substance which has all the attributes. What does mean? It could be one reality, and you could have many activities, or what we call many essences. Is it possible to be one reality or more than have many essences? Yeah. Can you give me an example of one substance, one mode which has two essences that you know very well? Humans. What are our two attributes or essences? Us. Thinking and living. Thinking and being animal. So we have two. So you see, anything could have two or more. It's not a problem. So you could have two or more. It's not a problem. I told you last time that if you study Beirut, you could have many essences to understand this complex thing, which is Beirut, let's say. You could have a geopolitical essence, historical essence, topographical essence. You have many, many different ways of understanding that thing, and understanding that this thing is doing many things in many, many different speeds. Okay? So, it is possible for a substance to have all the attributes. It's a possibility. Now, why have it? It's not a contradiction to say that I have one substance with many essences. Now, why the substance can have now all the attributes without the attributes conflicting with each other or dividing the substance? Great. Why attributes are necessarily conceived independently from one another?
Because the substance is independent.
Great. Because the substance is independent and hence.
The attribute is also.
What is an attribute?
The essence
It's
of
the way you conceive the substance. So of course the essence of the way you conceive the substance must be independent, and hence the conception of the attribute of the substance is for sure. It is ascertain that the attributes are independent from one another. I hope this is clear. The conception of the attributes of the substance. Does this apply on man? Can you conceive your essence independently from everything else? Practice Spinoza. You have two things. You have substance, moment.
Das ist was anderes.
Yeah.
Heller Kurs, was schon Vorauffolge hatte. Explain why it's possible for one substance to have all relations.
Yeah.
Heller.
What is the fact?
Explain why it's absolutely infinite that exists rather than having many substances, each one having many attributes.
Yes, you're right.
Heller.
So it's 4 and 5. If you answer 5, I'll give you a full grade. If you answer 4, I'll give you a full grade. Okay? Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. If you answer only 4, I will give you. Now I'm explaining. Okay? I need to explain to you. So relax. If you answer only 4, full grade. If you answer both, full grade. If you answer only 5, full grade. Now I'll give you the answer for 4 and 5. And next time remind me, please. You know, sometimes things get mixed in my head. Okay? Next time if I give this question, which is not exactly what you have, remind me. Okay, if you answer 4 and 5 correctly, you will get 5 and not 6. Okay, so I'm saying this. If you are a human, what are your two essences? This is a human. What are the two essences? It's thinking and living. Human thought and living. Now, is it true that you can understand human thought and living independently from everything else? Can you understand life without understanding body? Can you understand body without understanding extension? So you see, to understand the human or the way human thinks, do you need first to understand thinking in general? Yeah. Okay? So you see, not everything, when we conceive it, its essences are conceived independently. I hope this is clear. Don't mix these. I conceive the table as a material thing. Let's say the distribution of a number of pieces of wood in space. We say it's a piece of wood which is at 40 centimeters from the floor. This is the definition of a chair. When you understand that as being the essence of a chair, meaning you cannot be a chair if the place where you sit is at 80 centimeters. It becomes, let's say, I don't know, becomes a bar chair. It's not anymore a chair. So, in order to understand the essence of a chair, do you understand that independent from absolutely everything else? What do you need to understand? Matter, flat, sitting, floor, 40 centimeters. So you see, the conception of the essence of the chair, or of man, or of a crocodile, is not independent from everything else. Now, why only the conception of the substance? Before knowing what is that essence, you know for sure that it has to be independent from everything else. You get at least the question. Why, when you want to understand what constitutes the essence of substance, you're sure that you should be able to understand that independently from any other considerations. Why?
Because the substance is independent of its presence.
Great. Because you know by definition that substance must be conceived independently from everything else. You can say to understand the substance, I need first to understand something else not related to that substance. Like when you want to understand life, you need to understand body extension, which are not related to man per se. So you need to understand other things to understand what is man. While when you want to understand reality, do you need to understand other things to understand reality? No. Actually, you only need to, or you know beforehand, that the conception of the essence of reality you should be able to understand it independently from everything. So if you can understand something independently from something else, are these really distinct? Yeah. What is a real distinction?
They have nothing to do with one another.
When you're able to conceive something as absolutely without anything else. So you see, to understand the substance, necessarily, you should be able to understand it independently from anything else. So, doesn't this imply automatically that the multiple understandings of the substance are all independent from one another? And if they're all independent from one another, aren't they really distinct? And if they are really distinct, can they be numerically distinct? What is the definition of numerical distinction? Great. It's a distinction under the same attribute. Hence, do the many essences or attributes of the substance, do they divide the substance? Do they contradict each other? No. Why they don't divide the substance? Because they're not numerical distinctions. Why they don't conflict with each other, or limit each other, or contradict each other?
There's a real distinction.
Because they are really distinct and hence they belong to different attributes. And can you have a contradiction between different natures? No. So is it now a real possibility? Is it now a real possibility to have them all? Yeah. Okay. So I think this is question 4. 4. Now, for 5. 5. So if you continue now. Good. You can get 5. Okay. So if you continue now. If you continue on, what exists there? This model or this one? What exists? Many realities having each one attribute. You know, it's like in Plato. This is very pagan and it's Platonician. Plato, what does Plato say? You know, the Greeks, did they believe in many gods? Yeah. And did Plato have many ideas? If you don't know Plato, Plato had many ideas. The idea of beauty, of wisdom, of. And Plato used to think that actually what you see around you, this world, is a mixture of all of these ideas together. Is this clear? I tell you how Plato thinks. I don't know if you bought recently a projector, you know, home cinema projector. So today, if you are buying this kind of thing, you have a new technology called the spinning wheel, RGB that spins. What does it mean? It means that you have 3 colors, RGB, which are on a wheel, and instead of the projector sending you pixels, the wheel spins very quickly while the light is sending stuff, and you see the image. Now, you see the image like, you know, like a normal image. But what are the components of all the images you are seeing are these 3. This is why it's like polytheism or Trinity. We could think that what you see around you here comes from 3 independent realities, and when they mix together, you have this illusion of a world where you have people walking, speaking, etc., which is the polytheist kind of approach. I hope this is clear. Or you have one reality that is actually doing all the actions. I hope you're getting that. Okay? Now, which one of these 2 models exists? Why is the one reality?
No, because one reality can perform all my actions.
Yeah, but why this should exist and not that? Because it has, it's not enough, and if it has more attribute, it exists more. And what will exist? What exists more or what exists less? What exists more? So if you take this substance alone, does it exist more than this one or less? Less. If you take this one, does it exist more or less? Less. Can you say, like your friend said last time, that you can take them all together? Can you take them all together? Why not? Can you put them together or count them and make them form one unity, these things? because they are independent, really distinct, different realities, you can't totalize them. So you can't say the totality of that is more or the same as that. So this is more than each one of them, hence it is what exists more, and hence it is what should exist. I hope this is clear by now. Right? So if you look around you, you know that you live in one reality. There aren't two realities. Today they say there are multiverses. Spinoza said no. Even if you have multiverses, all of them are in one reality. There could be many attributes of that reality, but there are not many realities. The second point is that this one reality has all the attributes. Why it should have all the attributes and not, let's say, 1,000 attributes?
They can be counted.
Huh?
They can.
Not on that level. Meaning, why it should have them all, absolutely all, meaning the infinite, and not the infinite minus one.
One of the attributes is to have them all.
Huh?
One of the attributes is to have them all. Therefore,
No, this isn't the God.
Having the infinite number of attributes exists more than...
Thank you. Because to have absolutely all of them is what exists absolutely more, and of course what should exist absolutely more is what exists. Hence they have to have, or the substance has to have, all the attributes. Because if you say I have one which has 1,000 attributes without counting them, and another one has 10,000, well, what will exist more is the one which has them absolutely all. And this is why the only right model is the substance which has an infinite number of attributes. Is this clear? Okay? See, Spinoza, when you get it, it becomes very, very straightforward. You know now, the real is the substance which has an infinite number of attributes. So if you have an infinite number of attributes, can anything limit you, destroy you, give you birth, or anything of that kind? No, why not? Can anything destroy you?
Should share with you the same
Great.
attributes.
To destroy you, he will have, or the other reality will have to share with you an attribute. Is this possible?
No.
No. If he shares with you an attribute, where is he?
And
In you, so nothing can destroy God. Second one, can God give birth to something outside of him? Another reality? No, why not?
substance can produce itself.
Why not? First, a substance can produce a substance, yes, why not?
To share the same attributes.
Before that, what you are hinting at, why substance cannot cause another substance, for sure. Yeah,
Because substance exists independently.
thank you. Because substance exists independently, you can create another substance, problem solved. So you can only have one reality which is uncreated, indestructible, of course eternal because nothing can destroy it,
There's no cause for substance.
and there's no cause for substance. As you see, it is self-caused. Why God is in quote self-caused? What explains his existence, God?
definition.
Huh?
His definition.
His definition. God exists by the simple fact of what he is. And what is he? He is a reality with all the attributes. If you are a reality with all the attributes, it will imply that nothing can stop you from existing. Hence, you are an infinite power to exist. This is God in action. What is God in action? He's an infinite, unstoppable power to exist. Really, nothing can stop him from existing because, how can you understand that? Because he has all the attributes. Okay? I hope this is clear. So you see, you have this kind of double implication. When you are a substance with all the attributes, what does this imply? In terms of power, what kind of power when you are a substance with all the attributes? You are a power to exist. Okay? I hope by now this is clear. When you are the absolutely infinite, your essence is to have all the attributes, and you are an infinite power to exist. This E is exist. Nothing can stop you from existing. I hope this is clear. Okay? You're an infinite power to exist. Yep.
few attributes there.
We know of two attributes we will see soon. Why only these two? We know thought and extension, but we think that God should have all the others. We don't know about them. This will have a lot of implication. You could have, I don't know, attribute X or the golden attribute or I don't know what. We know thought and body, but God must have them all. Meaning you could have something which is also something different from thought and the body. A dimension which is neither thought nor the body. You can have another dimension and another and another. Okay? Now, when you look at this figure like that, what is your essence? What is the essence of God? Now you should know that, so I repeat. You should know it. The essence of God is what? If you want to
substance, having all the attributes.
The essence of God is actually to be a substance which has all the attributes, meaning the infinite essences. This is really from the definition of God. What is God? God is the substance which has all the attribute, meaning the substance whose all essences are infinite. Okay? I hope this is clear. Now, so when you have an essence, are there consequences when it comes to any essence? Should get comfortable with that language. If you have an essence, really always think of an example. Don't black out. What is the example you know of? Something which has an essence. Humans, do they have an essence? Yeah. What are their essences? Thought and living. Are there consequences when it comes to these two essences? And can you name a number of consequences? Rational thinking and animality. What are their consequences? Alone and together. What is one of the consequences of your animality? You know it very well. Desire. Another consequence. Walking. Thank you very much. Another consequence. To have a shape, to have a face, figure. Another consequence. You have a lot? No, it's not like that. Digestion, feeling tired, going to sleep. All of these are there the consequences of the fact that you are an animal. Yeah. What are the consequences of your thinking dimension? You also know it. You need to concentrate, to make an effort, to remember, to imagine, etc. We see that desire is a bit tricky, but it's part of these. Okay? I hope this is clear. Is it clear? So, what are the consequences of a circle? First, is a circle a substance or a mode? The circle? Mode. Where does it exist? An extension or in thought, this circle? Extension. Are there consequences when it comes to the circle?
Yes.
Give me a number of consequences.
It's round.
Round, okay. What else?
There's a center.
It has a center, what else? Radii, yeah, what else? You are still in the definition. You didn't jump yet with the consequences. Radii, are they equal? Yeah, this is a consequence. When we say radii are equal, it's a consequence. The triangle whose sides are radii, is it isosceles? This is a consequence. Can you inscribe a square in it? It's a consequence. Can you have, diameters, surfaces, areas, perimeters? All of these are consequences of what? Of this thing we call the circle. I hope it's clear. Okay? So anything which has an essence, will you have consequences stemming out of the essence? Anyone? Yeah. So if you have all the infinite essences, will there be consequences? Yeah. If God has an infinite essence, will that essence have an infinite number of consequences? Yeah. I give you a complete example. when you take extension, don't you have an infinite number of consequences when it comes to extension? And can you name me some of these consequences? Extension is space. Are there consequences when it comes to the extended attribute? Gravity, what else? Everything you see around you is a consequence of what? Of how you can differently distribute space. If you take atoms, are they different distributions of space? Yeah. If you take light waves, are they different distribution of space? Yeah. If you take living bodies, are they a complication of space? Yes. If you take stones, also. Black holes, also. So everything you see in extension, is it a consequence of the extended substance, of the extended attribute? Yeah. Now, God has absolutely all the infinite essences, so will He have an infinite number of consequences? Yeah. See, God will have an infinite number of consequences, and these consequences are they stemming out of His own essence and nature? Is walking something natural for you because you're an animal? Yeah. When you walk, is it something that stems out of your essence, meaning to be animal? Yeah. So God, when He has all of these consequences, is He unfolding them freely? No. Is someone forcing Him to unfold these consequences if they are the consequences of His essence?
No one is forcing.
Can anyone force Him anyway?
No.
Can there be another cause than God in this universe? Why God is the only cause? He's the only reality, and the cause is the reality. So who will unfold the consequences of the essences of God? God Himself. And when He's unfolding them, is He following His own nature or He's constrained?
No.
He's following His own nature. Meaning it's like when you want to sleep and you sleep. It's the same. Or like when you want to do something and do it because you feel that this fits your nature. So you see, God ends up what? Being infinitely productive. Why God produces infinitely? Because He has infinite essences, and are there consequences for the essences? Yes. Can you be an essence without having consequences? No, by definition. The definition of essence is that any essence has consequences as its properties. I hope this is clear. Any essence, even the circle. Even the essence of the circle has consequences. And of course, when you have an infinite essence, what kind of consequences you will have? An infinite number of consequences. And given that no one can stop you from unfolding your nature, will you unfold your nature? If no one will stop you from doing that, and will you follow your nature? Yes. So it follows that God will create infinitely. I hope this is clear. What will He create? Not other realities, but other what? Consequences, which are what? You have reality and you have substance and mode. Attribute is something else. It's the way you understand what constitutes the essence of substance or mode. So you have so God will produce what infinitely? An infinite number of what? Of modes. So God's a creator now. Why is He a creator for sure? Huh? He's the only reality, but what does He need to create you and me and tables and chairs and everything you see around you? Huh? Yeah, but why? You say His nature is not enough. You see, can you have a God that doesn't create what you see around you? Like a sterile God, a God that remains in Himself. Is this possible now? Really, because you have these visions in Gnosticism that God, He's a bit like, He's enclosed on Himself and He doesn't want to know anything about the world. Can you have this God? Why not? Can you have a God which is not a creator in the same time? But He's not creating another God, He's creating the creature. What is the difference between the creature and the creator? You have really 3 words. 3. Attribute, substance, mode.
The creature even more.
Thank you.
Creator more substance.
Thank you. The difference between creature and creator, now we know what the difference is that the creator is the substance, and what are the creatures?
More.
The modes. And are the modes inside the creator?
Yes.
Yeah. Can the creatures be outside of the creator, meaning independent from him? No, actually the creatures are going to be a mode of extension and a mode of thought, or both together. So God creates freely, and He creates in Himself, and He creates creatures, or else He wouldn't be God. See, there's a necessity for God to create. Why there is a necessity for God to create? Because as you can see, God has the infinite essences in an infinite number, and if He has these infinite essences in an infinite number, and nothing can stop Him from doing what He would like to do, He will of course create the infinite consequences of these infinite essences. So to be God and to create is a necessity. You can't have this without that. So what is the reason why God creates? The reason why God creates is because He is a substance which has all the attributes. Is this clear? Anyone? Why God has to create, in quote has, why God unfolds Himself freely all the time? Because He's one reality, meaning one cause, which has what? All the essences, which are infinite. Does an essence have consequences? Yeah, by definition. An infinite essence will have what? Infinite consequences. Hence, God, will He create the infinite number of consequences which are in His nature? Yeah. Would He create them in Himself? Yes. When we say creating in yourself, we call this immanent cause for your technical language. Immanence meaning in yourself, not outside or transcendent. So God creates in Himself. I hope this is clear. Now, what is the reason for this creative act or productive act? Is that God has all the essences. Now, what is the reason why God exists? Why God exists? In an infinite power to exist. Why God has an infinite power to exist? Because He has all the attributes. Can you give me the arguments that clarifies that? Can anyone stop Him from existing? No. Why not? He has to share the attribute. Great. So, what is the reason why God has an infinite power to exist? Is to? Why God has an infinite power to exist? Because He has all attributes. Why God has an infinite power to create? Because He has all attributes. So is the reason to exist the same as the reason to create? Yes. So we say that God creates in the way He creates Himself. So the same power to exist is actually the creative power. Why? Because it's the same power that you're looking at. Either you look at the substance has all the attributes and hence nothing can limit God, He's an infinite power to exist, or you think that God or the substance has all the attributes and the attributes has an infinite number of consequences, hence God is creating infinitely, and it's the same thing which is infinitely existing and infinitely creating. There's no difference in God between being self-caused and causing things to exist. Self-caused, what does it mean? Self-caused is the infinite power to exist or the infinite power to create? It's the infinite power to exist. So self-caused is that my definition implies my existence. Causing others to exist is I'm creating modalities in me, and the same cause for me to exist, meaning my self-cause, is itself the cause of creation of the others, meaning the modes. So God creates Himself while creating you and everything else. Okay, so when I move my hand, who is moving it? What is the cause of this movement? It's God. Literally, Spinoza says, whatever you do, what is the only cause in this universe? The only one? By transmission, but it's the only cause. It's God. So God is really the one that makes everything moves, everything fall and unfold, thrive and die, etc., etc. He's really like the only cause in this world. Yeah. He's always creating everything in all the directions. When I move, this is already part of the divine causality. When I die, it's part of the divine causality. And this is all the time forever. Because each iota of effects or movement or anything that happens in this world, who is doing it? You have only one cause. It's God. Okay? Yeah?
Doesn't this make you not free?
Yes, we're not free as we will see soon, but this is why we are supremely free as we will see soon.
How does this explain the presence of bad things in the world?
We'll get to that very soon. We'll get to that with the mode, are you free, not free, what are things bad, not bad, is there evil, and stuff like that. But before getting there, we need to understand just God as He is in Himself. Yeah.
But we proved last time that we live in God and everything around us is God.
Exactly, even this.
So,
Because is this extension?
yeah.
Yeah, is this part of the extended essence? Is the extended essence an attribute of God? Yeah, so this is part of God. It's part. It's not itself God, it's part of it. God is really what contains us all. Not only what contains us all, what moves us all, including the birds, the stars, the water, whatever you see around you, is moved by this causality, which is the divine unfolding of Himself in the way He creates Himself. I hope this is clear. Okay? So you see, we've seen these two. When you are the absolutely infinite, you are immediately the infinitely productive. Is this clear? And you can't be the absolutely infinite without being the infinitely productive. Hence, you can't be God without creating, and if you create, you are God. Okay? So now let's look at the second one before concluding. We said that the essence of God, what is the essence of God? Now you should know it by heart. Substance having all the attributes. Thank you. And you said that when your essence is to be a substance which has all the attributes, are you an infinite power to exist?
Yes.
Yeah. So are you eternal?
Yes.
Can you be limited? Are you infinite? Yes. Okay? Now, we want to know. Now, the essence of God is what? The essence of God state, if you give it a contracted form, that God is the being whose essence implies what? Existence. You are a being. Does your essence imply existence? What is your essence? You have two animal reaction. Does this imply your existence? No. Something you need something else to exist, your parents, nature, whatever, but it's not your essence that implies your existence. The essence of God, and only God has this essence, is the one whose essence makes Him exist. He exists by nature. He exists out of His own what He is. Yeah. Okay. Does your essence imply your existence? You are a rational animal. Can you deduce your existence out of that? Can you be crushed by a bus? Yeah, why?
Because we're fine.
Because we find out, meaning, do we belong to an attribute or does the attribute belong to us? Rational. Do we belong to reason or does reason belong to us? So you see, Spinoza, you belong to reason and you belong to matter. And it's not that reason and matter are in you. So when you die, reason will not stop. Okay? If reason is in you, when you die, reason stops. Yeah.
For Spinoza, what the difference between human beings and other things in the world? We are modes like any other thing.
You're like a bird. You have logical reasoning, that's all.
So that's not.
Yeah, you don't have dignity which is higher than that of the elephant. Actually, maybe the elephant is better and smart. The only difference between humans, animals, and dogs is that humans have everything the other have, and this logical thing going on. They speak. It's one feature. But as a dignity, they don't have a superior dignity, and they don't exist in another attribute. Because logic and speech is part of thought, and animals, when they function on their instincts and their intuition, this is also thought for Spinoza, as you will see. So we are all individuals, as you will see when it comes to Spinoza. You, the birds, even the rock is an individual, as you will see. But for now, we said that the essence of God is what? Is that he has an essence which includes or implies existence. I hope now this is clear. So we want to know, among the things around you, what constitutes the essence of God? Did you get the question at least? Okay. Is the table itself the essence of God, or what is the essence of God? Did you get how he's thinking? We know that the essence of God implies its existence, hence the essence of God must be infinite, eternal, unlimited, etc. So we want to know now, are you part of the essence of God? Are you the essence of God? You look at someone, is he the essence of God? How can you know that he's not the essence of God? We're not infinite. If you get crushed by the bus, can you be the essence of God? No, actually you are part of his essence, meaning you are in matter and you're not yourself matter. So how do you know what constitutes the essence of God? Did you get the problem? You have the essence of God as an essence that implies existence, meaning an essence which is indestructible, eternal, and infinite. So if in this world we can see or find something which is infinite and eternal, would this be part of the essence of God? Yeah. Did you get how he proceeds? Or I repeat, you have a condition. You have, it's like a job application. In the job application, they say, I want to have an engineer who did maths and computer and. And then what do? You advertise your job offer, and people start coming to you, and you see if they fit the requirements. And whenever you find someone who fits the requirement, you say, okay, he fits the condition. I hope this is clear. So with God's essence, it's the same. You have the general formula of the essence of God, which is it's an essence that implies existence. How do we know that? From the definition of God. Oh. So now we want to know, in the world, what? Is this part of the essence of God, or me, or my hair? What really constitute? To constitute is a technical philosophical term that you need to understand, is that you have the empty condition and you're looking for something that can fulfill the condition. It's like a job offer, it's the same. So what can fulfill the condition of the essence of God is of course what should be infinite. Okay? Do we know things which are infinite? Or can you think of something that can go forever? Do you also know these things? So which means, can you imagine, to make it the easy version, a posteriori, can you imagine extension extending and extending and extending forever? Extension, can it go forever? Yeah, why yes? Can you limit extension? Huh? You need a substance which shares with extension what? It's the same attribute with extension. So when you limit it, what do? You add to it, you extend it. So can you limit extension? No. So can you limit blue? Can you have a blue patch limited with a white patch? Yeah. Can you imagine an infinite blue? Yeah. Because it works on imagination and everything. This is the real, meaning really. If you can imagine it, it means that it might be true. Can you imagine an infinite blue? Everything is blue. Why not or why yes? I can imagine everything blue. Yeah. But is in this infinite image The blue, which is infinite, or the extension of the blue? It's the extension of the blue. Okay? So you can spread a color over everything, but when you are spreading it, what is becoming infinite is the extension of the blue and not the blue. The blue is still just the blue and not the red. So the blue is still limited, even though its extension now is infinite. I hope this is clear.
But this extension will make the blue infinite.
It's its extension which is infinite and not it as blue. Because is the blue the green? No. So you have a limitation. Blue is not green. But is extension extension? Is extension in the table the same as extension in me and you and the stars and everywhere else? As an extension. Did you get what I'm saying? Which means when this occupies an extension, is the extension it occupies different in nature from the extension this occupies in nature, or are they both extensions configured differently?
Extensions configured differently.
Yeah, but you have to really intuit it. Is this a space? Yeah. Is this a space? My hands, are they also in a space? Yeah. So is the space here different in nature, not in configuration, from the space here? Or are they both spaces? They're both spaces. Okay? So you see, only extension is the same practically everywhere, even though the determination of extension is of course not the same everywhere. When you fold a paper, you end up having, a complex folding of the paper. This is a complex folding of space, which can be different from another folding of space, but both of them are in space. Okay. So let's do it with thought. Can you have thought and thought and thought forever? Yeah. The act of thinking can go forever. Now, are the thoughts themselves eternal, or can they go forever? Meaning, you think about your mom, would you stop thinking about that at one point?
Yes.
Yeah, what would you think next? Something else. You think about your house, and then you think about, and then you sleep, and then you remember, and then. All of these are different thoughts, but aren't they all generated by the act of thinking? Yeah. So how do you constitute the essence of God? Constitute, meaning how do you find something that fills the condition of the essence of God, which is to be eternal and infinite and unlimited? Whatever in this world can be raised to the infinite constitutes the essence of God. If you cannot raise it to the infinite, you know for sure that it doesn't belong to the essence of God. We know two of these. The act of thinking and the act of extending. Now, when you understand that the act of thinking is infinite in right, meaning you know that it can go forever, even though you personally, you don't see it go forever. You can see it go for 80 years and then you die. But you know that this action can go forever. When you know that extending and thinking are infinite in right, can you be sure now that wherever you go and wherever you do, you will perceive with your eyes or with your mind, thinking and extending? Can you have a place on the earth where you don't have thinking or extending?
No.
Why not? On earth or in the universe? Can you have a place where you don't have matter? Anyone? No, why not? Because they're infinite. If you say here I don't have space or matter, what does it mean? It means that now space is what? Not infinite, it's limited. It has a hole in it. Is this clear? So when you go to the confines of the universe, you will have extension. And when you go to wherever you go, you'll have extension. Not necessarily matter, but you will have extension. Okay? I hope this is clear. So can you suspend your thought, as the Buddhists say? Can you have a hole in your thought? Thought stops, hole, and then it begins. Can you have a limitation of thought? No, it's an act that goes on and on and on, and nothing can stop this act. At least it's a good news. This way you don't need, we already seen it in Descartes, you don't need to try to suspend your thought in meditation. You can't suspend your thought. Is it clear why? So I hope now you understood that. As soon as you understand that thinking and extending are infinite, you immediately perceive thinking and extending wherever you are, wherever you do. Is this clear? When you open your eyes, do you see for sure thinking and extending? Yeah. Do you see for sure a horse? No. You see a horse, you don't see it for sure because it's a modality of thinking and extending. But wherever you do, you're sure to perceive thinking and extending wherever you are. Even when you lose your mind, there is still a type of thinking, because thinking is everything. It's imagining, dreaming, instinctive, intuitive behaviors. All of these are thinking. And wherever you do, you will have thinking and extending. Okay? So to conclude, what time it is it?
You have 1 minute.
1 minute? Okay. So I hope I know these are clear. The absolutely infinite is you understand its essence as enveloping all the. You understand its essence as the substance which has all the attributes and has an infinite power to exist. I hope this is clear. Now, given that the essence of God, meaning the absolutely infinite, implies its existence, to find something that constitutes that condition, you have the infinitely perfect, meaning what cannot be limited by anything else. And you have an infinite power to perceive, because when you understand that thinking and extending are infinite, you know that you are seeing them all the time. Okay? The third one, because God is absolutely infinite, meaning He has all the attributes, He has an essence which has an infinite number of properties, and this is why He is infinitely productive, meaning He's infinitely creative, and He has an infinite power to create, knowing that this power is exactly the same as the power to self-create. So the power to create and to create Himself are the same. It's the same things that you see like this or like that. Either you look at the attribute and you go towards the substance, you say it's an infinite power to exist, or you look at the substance and you go towards the attribute and say it's an infinite power to produce. Okay? So God's the creator, the self-mover, all of these things. I hope now you understand. So please read the little text and the explanations.